we're here. And we're live.
It's time.
And we've been live. We've been live for a few minutes now, but now we're actually doing something with our liveness. And tonight we're doing something really interesting with our liveness. Tonight we've got namas, the live sake.
Oh, you just went right for it.
Yeah, I did.
I was going to say, let's have a poll to guess what these three sakes have in common.
Oh, I ruined it. I'm sorry.
I mean, you know.
There's no surprise.
Seeing how many friends we have already.
Yeah, not so many yet.
But yeah, this is the second part of our Japan Sake 2017 haul episode series.
Yeah, we're kind of just going through everything that most of the things that we picked up while we were in Japan
Yeah,
recently.
you might have seen the picture a few weeks ago where we took a picture of every single sake in one cup that we brought back with us this year, and it was extensive. It was on this table. It was basically this whole table.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And this apron here also. Oh, no, not this one. This one. This apron.
Yeah, it was the other apron.
Yeah.
So this time, these are the namas. Now there is caution inherent to bring namas back. So basically, the namas, in case you're not aware, are unpasteurized sakes. So that basically means that it is susceptible to being warm because it's the microbes that are inside of it are not killed off during the pasteurization process like a normal sake would be. So you got to be careful with it. You got to keep them chilled.
That's the most important part. You have to keep them cold.
Yeah. Now I've been told, that you can get away with it for a day or so. I mean, and part of this is true. Like once you get on the plane when you're flying back, the cargo hold of the plane is very cold.
Yeah, I don't think it has any sort of
they're not warming it at
pressure
all,
control atmosphere. Like it's just under there. It's just really, really freezing. I think also even if you fly a lot, you probably get your luggage back, and by the time even you get home, your
stuff's cold.
Your stuff is cold. So keeping your sake in your suitcase is good as long as you keep it cold after you buy it. So if you're staying in a hotel, they usually have a refrigerator. If you get an Airbnb, of course, they would probably have a refrigerator.
And typically, when you buy a nama, first thing they're going to warn you. They're going to see that you're not Japanese, assuming you're not Japanese, and they're going to be like, "Hey, careful with this. It's a nama." And yes, they're going to. If you assure them that it's cool, they'll usually kind of wrap it up with a little cold pack.
There's like a little, like if you get hurt in gym class, like a little square
tiny ice pack.
Yeah, a little gel pack.
Yeah. And those things will re-chill, so you can totally put that in the refrigerator and keep it for when you're transporting it from the hotel to the airport.
So that's what we did. Is we saved all the little gel ice packs that we got each time we bought a nama, and kept them in our fridge. And then
around this one mostly.
So and then when we were ready to leave, these had been in our refrigerator in the hotel the whole time. We put all of them around, all the little gel packs around the sake, and then wrapped them up and put them in our suitcase last. That was the last thing that we packed. And I would say for packing advice, I like to do a layer of clothes on the bottom of my suitcase, and then I try to keep all of the sake where the wheels are, on the bottom side with the base facing the wheels, because sake bottles and wine bottles are meant to be shipped, so they're very strong here, with the idea that they're going to be stacked. So keeping them against the suitcase, stacked this way, with clothes, t-shirts wrapped around them, stuff in between, especially around the neck, and then stacking them that way. That way, when you close your suitcase and stand it up, they're all kind of the way that they're meant to travel. And I think that really helps. Another thing that we do is we have these bottle-shaped bubble wrap items. These are from Wineskin, I'm sure.
Yeah, we ordered these from Amazon, and they're really good. As Michelle said, they're basically it's like it's a watertight plastic sleeve with a bubble wrap insert.
And you don't really have to worry so much about the size because they're pretty loose.
You can't put a magnum in that, but you can put 720s without problem.
You'll see. I'll do an example for you. Go in here, and then you said that they were watertight. If you want to talk more about that.
So they are watertight, and they have double. There's a double glue seal on it. So once it's in there, you
squeeze it shut.
and then fold it over with a secondary. It's like, so you have 2 layers.
So if it does break, you don't have to worry about your
clothes smelling like
your
ginger.
electronics, like if you put your chargers in there or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then they're pretty reusable. I think we've used a couple of these multiple
I think this
trips.
is the 3rd year for some of them.
But they're not too expensive on Amazon?
No, you get them, I think you get them like $15 for like 3 or 4 of them. It's pretty good. I mean, it's worth it. Some things that other people do that I've done in the past also is a lot of places will bubble wrap your sake for you. So if you're at like a depatica, which is the kind of the department store basement. Department store basements have a lot of like packaged foods, and they usually have a really good liquor department. They'll usually bubble wrap everything for you, and then you can just take that and then get a kind of a Ziploc bag, get like the gallon-sized Ziploc, put it in there, zip it shut. If it breaks, you're completely safe. And with the bubble wrap, it probably won't break.
But sake bottles are really strong already
Yes,
because
they are.
Not only are they similar to wine bottles where they are built very strong and meant to be stacked and transported, but sake bottles are most of the time pasteurized in the bottle, so they're already kind of extra strong. And we have a little bit of a good story about that. We learned that the hard way because we were trying to make glasses out of sake bottles, which you might have seen on Pinterest, like me, where people have these like beautiful wine bottles, or in our case sake bottles, with the labels printed on.
Enter Sake is a good example.
Sake specifically is why we have a few of these saved, where you use a glass cutter or like a few nifty tricks to cut the top part off, sand it down, and then you have like a beautiful water glass that you can use. And we tried to do that with wine and sake bottles, and the sake bottles were not having it. Like, they were too strong, especially around this point. Mm-hmm. They just wouldn't break.
Because that whole trick involves kind of scoring it and then doing cold and heat treatments on it until the integrity gives away.
Yeah.
But these things, because they're kind of built to withstand heat and built to withstand temperature changes, they just didn't have it.
We know some people who have had a glass or two break, but we've been
a bottle or two.
Or two break, but we've been bringing them back and forth 6 times for me.
Only like 8 times for me. Because the first couple of trips I took to Japan, I didn't do that.
So
let's get to the sake part.
So
of
in the end, as long as you keep it cold after you buy it, and then you can pack some ice on it when you are traveling from your hotel to the airport and it's being checked, like that few hours. And then once it's under the plane, you're fine. You take it directly home, take it out, put it in the fridge. It's fine.
It'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we took 3 back.
3 namas.
3 namas. This is actually, this is from a brewery that we're kind of big fans of. I think in the background we always have the Hayakujuru Jumai Daiginjo, which has the black print. This is one of their seasonals, the Sakura, and I don't know if the details coming in, but it's got a little, it's pink and it has a little, kind of like the blooms all over the front. And this is a nama, and it's made with Akita Homari rice, and it has like a little bit of a punch to it. It's kind of nice. This one here, all right. So this is a little.
Are we gonna go right for this one? Or are we gonna?
Well, I just wanted to talk about them briefly, and then we'll start drinking.
This one I'm so excited about. So
you want to tell that story?
I would love to.
Go for it.
If you were following some of our videos while we were in Japan, we did a live video at the Ikebukuro mall where they were having a brewery event, and there were like 13 breweries doing tastings of.
Right. It was at that Cebu department store.
Yes, yeah. And they weren't just doing like a couple. They were doing like most of them had a bunch of their line, like 4, 5, 6. And just so many. And this is one that really caught our eye. And this one specifically was interesting to us because it is a blend of 3 different rices. It's the omach, the yamanishiki,
and also the gokuman goku. I'm awful
at
pronouncing
good.
that. Oh, it's pretty good. I think it's a Niigata rice.
And I call it like a sake sangria. Because of
of
all the different rices blended together, but it's a 30-30-40. And it was so rounded, like such a big, exciting flavor. And it was, as far as sake prices in Japan go, it was a little bit more than what we would normally pay.
It's also a small bottle. It's a
and
500 milliliter bottle.
A smaller bottle. But so worth it.
She fell in love with this. We
there
had to buy
was
it.
no way we were not taking this back with us.
Yeah.
I wanted to get the Magnum, but of course you have to worry about like weight and like space in your suitcases. So we only brought this little one back, and I'm a little sad that we're gonna finally like open it and then have to.
It's from Miyoshi Kiku, and as best I can tell, it's called Blame. That's as best I can tell.
This brewery, all of their bottles had really cute like little anime cartoons on them, like little comic style. There was one that they had, which I have seen a lot on Instagram if you are following a lot of different like sake accounts. It's a blue bottle with a blue label, and then there's like a cat wearing like a king's cape and a crown.
Do you want to like maybe like put that on the Instagram later and people can see?
Yeah, and I guess if we archive this, we can kind of insert that as well so you can see or have a link. But very popular, and I'm so excited to like actually see it in person. Very cute. I'm very excited about this one. Just such a big flavor. So interesting. And of course it's a Nama, so just the flavors are so fresh.
Right. So we actually did try this that day at the event before we bought it.
Do you remember where this one was from? Tohoku?
No, it's one moment. I have that here. It is from Tokushima.
Tokushima.
Yeah. Now, this last one here is actually... We bought this at an Oktoberfest. So if you watched the show, then you probably know that we went to an Oktoberfest while we were in Japan.
And they had a huge sake booth.
They did, and I gravitated directly to the sake booth.
And all from a specific region. It was
Tohoku, yeah.
Tohoku region. Yeah. That's where it's from.
So this little 300 milliliter bottle is from Suisen Brewery. They, if I'm not mistaken, were... kind of battered very badly by the earthquake and tsunami years ago. And so, it's kind of like some of their stuff has been very like featured as a kind of like coming back from, from this like terrible tragedy. And so I like that they got to do the fun commemorative bottle this year.
And is this the Oktoberfest 2017? Yeah, so this is like the commemorative Oktoberfest Japan 2017.
I have absolutely no idea what this is going to taste like, so it's going to be interesting. I didn't try it. I did try a lot of different sake at the Oktoberfest, like you do, but I didn't try this one yet. They only had this by the bottle, and I was like, well, let me get the bottle and save it, and we'll do it for the show.
So when I think of Nama, I think of like a very pungent flavor, a very...
Pungent?
I would say like bold, like a very intentional flavor, a very fresh, fun flavor. And I assume that's not always the case, but I think that compared to what we can get in the United States, the Namas are just so much...
And sometimes you can get a really exciting Nama here as well, but...
Not like Japan.
Not like Japan.
When you go to Japan
and
you eat a Nama,
there.
It's still kind of a little bubbly. Oh, it's so exciting. Yeah. Especially when you go in October and you get that Hiroshi, just like the really
those
fresh
are not
bottles.
Namas, though, but they're very fresh.
Not always?
Usually not Namas, I would say. If I'm wrong, yell at me.
All right. So, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do all three, or do you want to do one at a time?
Let's do all three, and then we'll...
All right, so I'll pour this one for us.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to put this over here so we can actually see what we're doing.
We're doing little tasting cups today.
Oops.
Woo!
Good save.
Oh, so we did have a question about how to bring back as many sakes as we did. I think a lot of people saw our photo and they're like, how could you possibly bring that much back at once?
Witchcraft. It was all witchcraft.
So when we left, we always keep at least half of our suitcases empty.
Yeah. Pack light.
Pack very light.
Stage 1, pack light.
And I even think next year, I think what I'm going to do is... I usually take like a smaller carry-on style suitcase. I can't get this one open. It's like very slippery. Okay. And then like, of course your larger suitcase. And what we did usually is pack half, if they have like the zipper or kind of like those like clippy things that hold your clothes down on one side. Just pack the one side in each, and then you have that whole extra space for souvenirs and sake. But I think next year what I'm going to do, because you can pack two carry-on or two checked luggage, right, per person?
Usually.
I think what I want to do next year is bring a second smaller one and just put it in my large suitcase. Maybe only pack that smaller one within, and then have even more space. Because then your weight limit is really, I think, the hardest factor. Is
the
how
weight
much
limit's
weight.
the issue.
So if you spread it over multiple suitcases, it makes sense.
I mean, I can fit my main my main checked bag can carry six or seven bottles, and that's really without even trying. But the weight of 6 or 7 bottles really gets to be quite a bit, and some airlines will simply not allow it. Other airlines will allow it, but will charge you, I think, like $50 or sometimes $200 maybe. At that point, it's probably not worth it.
So if you can,
2 bags is the key, I think, right?
Yeah. You can also bring a checked baggage on the way there, and then bring a carry-on plus 1 checked, and then check both of them on the way back. Or what I'm gonna try next year, the secret Matryoshka doll of suitcases, and then kind of use it that way. That also allows you to bring back a lot more souvenirs, which is fun.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
This year we did go a little bit over our weight limit. We both were pretty heavy bags, but they let it slide.
Oops. Trying to see the comments and all that. Wow, we got it. All right. Do we feel there's a difference in taste depending on the climate where we drink it? And I'm not sure about if you're talking about the environment we're in, or if you're talking about like the temperature of the sake itself. And the answer to both is probably yes. Definitely the sake itself. If the sake is very, very cold, it'll lose some of its flavor. If it's very, very warm, it's going to take on a completely different flavor. If it's room temperature, it'll probably even a third flavor.
If you're like farther in the north and you're drinking a sake that's like from the south and it's been shipped, it could potentially,
that's a little aged then.
a little aged. Or if you're getting sake from Japan that's brought to the United States, sometimes it goes a little wrong. They might leave it out a little too long, and it can kind of take on a little funk flavor.
A little funky.
Sometimes that happens in New York.
Fortunately, I think we're good here.
Yeah,
we got stuff. We personally brought these back. We know how it got here.
Yeah.
All right, so
I want to taste the Oktoberfest first.
All right, let's do it.
I'm really excited about this one. We haven't had it yet.
All right, come by. Let's have some Oktoberfest. It is it's pretty clear. It's a little yellowy, but not very.
I think it's got a really nice, kind of like a vanilla smell to it.
This is like a really kind of a baseline Nama to me. It has the Nama note to it. It's very subtle, and that's kind of it.
I do think it has a very light flavor. There's really not much going on, which makes sense that it's such a light flavor. When you think about beers that you would be drinking with like your fried foods, your burgers, your fried chicken, it's going to be a lighter taste.
Yeah, you don't want to overpower.
This Oktoberfest sake, which was meant to be paired with the sausages and like the fried chicken and the french fries and the potatoes, is very light. I think it would go really well with those really hearty foods.
I'm going to go on a limb here and say that with this blue bottle, it's also probably meant to be a summer Nama. Generally, the summer Namas are usually served in like a white bottle, or shipped in a white or light blue bottle like this. So I can totally see that being a thing too. And they usually have a light flavor like this. This is very subtle.
Oh, for our newer viewers, I think we kind of skipped over. We told you that Namas need to stay cold. They'll probably warn you when you buy it, but what to look out for is the symbol for Nama, which is very distinctive.
I don't think it's going to catch up on
that. Usually it's like very big. Usually you get like a sticker kind of on the front, but we can show later in the comments if you want to link, or if you want to look up the symbol for Nama now while we're talking about it.
Yeah. You also see like if you go to a beer bar, you'll see the Nama, because that's Nama is draft, so you'll see for like draft beer, it'll use the same symbol.
So there's usually a huge symbol for you to look out for, and that's how you would know that it's a Nama. It's got that huge symbol on it, but these three do not. Like don't
have the obnoxiously large
usually
Nama logo.
Usually it's very huge.
Yeah.
And I don't even think we have any Namas here to kind of show you what that looks like.
We don't. The only reason I really was 100% certain that the Sakura was a Nama is actually looked up on their website and confirmed it.
Really?
Yeah. Google translates it as like raw. And I'm like, yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah. This is such a beautiful bottle. I think we've talked... Oh, there it is right there. Very tiny on the front.
Nama.
We've talked about these before and how they always have the same face motif, but just with different backgrounds.
Different colors.
And I think they're so fun to find in stores. I think it's so fun to see different iterations because they're just always so unique. There's the green one that's kind of got like the flowers. We have the blue one we did earlier. Yellow. Of course,
we did a blue. We did a green. Two different greens. We did the G-made green.
Yeah.
We've got another one in the fridge of the limited. We'll talk about that some other day. That's a weird flavor. We'll get into that some other time though. All right, let's try the Let's try the second one here.
The sake sangria.
The blend. Now, I understand that maybe the blends are something that happens a little bit more often, but we're new to it. We're kind of like unaware of that as a trend, and it's a pretty cool trend.
So we went to a sake store, and I saw another blend, and I was like, wow, like this must be very popular now, that these sake blends. And the shop owner was like, no. It's not popular.
No.
And I was like, no, I've seen it before. Like, 3 days ago I saw it. I promise it's like a thing. And he's like, no, it's not popular.
This
I don't
is
know.
really weird.
I love it so much.
She loves the really weird stuff.
It's that like sugary sweetness. I think it's a sugar sweetness. Like if you think of like icing, like that kind of sweetness.
It's very weird.
It's also a little fruity. It's very bold. Is this a namagenshu or just a nama?
It's an namagenshu. I should have mentioned that earlier.
That's probably what it is. It's just got that huge flavor.
Yeah, I think it's a 17% alcohol. So it's not hugely nama, or maybe 17.5. I forget exactly what it said.
Not hugely genshu, you mean?
It's not a huge genshu, but
it smells like really fruity. And I've had 2 sips now, and the flavor is so strong in my mouth. Like there is no way that this is.
Yeah, it is powerful.
It is like still there. Like if I try to taste anything else right now, it's not going to happen. It's just lingering,
really intense,
sweet, fruity, bold pop of flavor, and I think it's like all at once. It's sometimes you get a sake that's like sweet in the front and then dry at the end, or it's got this one is just all there, and it's so fun. I love it.
By the way, I remember last week we had Ron popped in a couple of times and asked some questions. He says hello from Japan. He's in Japan right now.
Wow!
Congratulations for making it over there.
That's
hope
awesome.
Hope you have a good time. Wait a minute. What time is it there? It's 9 in the morning. Go to sleep. Go back to bed.
Wait, no, 9 in the morning. You gotta go start drinking.
There's nobody said drink at 9 in the morning.
Okay, what you should
11.
do is
You
go
can start drinking at 11.
to Ginza and go to Sake no Wana.
They open at 11.
That's perfect. And if
so now you should be getting dressed. Okay, got it.
And if you're in Ginza, they have a lot of antenna shops, which is like a little shop that focuses on specific prefectures. So you can go to like the Hiroshima or the Akita or the Gifu. There's so many different ones, and they open early because they're stores that have samples in the back.
They all have sampling bars, which is pretty cool.
Sampling bars, which are basically just tasting sets in the back.
Yeah,
and
Kochi is our favorite.
Do you remember where that is? Well,
I mean, they're all in Ginza.
They're all in Ginza.
They're all like within like a 3-block radius of each other.
And if you like it, you can buy one and take one home. Very exciting. I think the Kochi one is our favorite because,
of course, a bunch of little old ladies run it, and they're awesome.
And they're like very bold. Like Kochi is kind of like on the.
Oh, they're in Osaka right now.
Ooh.
I don't know where there are any matcha
that
shops in Osaka. Yeah. I would try to get some sleep, man. But I don't know. I feel like in Osaka they probably start drinking really early. I don't know. I've never been in Osaka early, really, except leaving Osaka.
We've kind of done like day
one
trips.
night. We've done like one night twice, and in the morning we have to get up and leave. Very hungover. Very.
Osaka is kind of, it's not a college town, but it's kind of like a college town. Everybody there is like so friendly and so nice.
Yeah, it's a fun town. All right. I need to not think about this for a little bit because it's way too intense. So I need to try to just move on.
And I love the bottle too. It's so pretty.
I need to move on to the Hayakujuru, which I'm probably mispronouncing.
Ooh, this one has a really bold smell too.
It does. This tastes like Akita sake, even though the brewery is, if I'm not mistaken, from like Gifu, I think. But it tastes like Akita sake. It's like bam. It's like has that like that aramasa kind of in your face punch to it.
Yeah,
and I absolutely love it. I think this is great.
It's kind of like a lingering flavor. Mm. It's a very slow, mellow flavor. I want to say sweet, but it's kind of like
it is sweet. And the thing is that
like a brown sugar kind of sweetness, like a molassesy kind of sweetness.
The thing is, normally I would say like, oh, this is like it's so bold and sweet. It's like this, boldest and sweetest thing I would drink, blah, blah, blah. But I just had this, so this tastes very mild right now. It's so easy to get like, you get that comparison in your kind of taste buds, and it's hard.
This reminds me of a warm sake. How sometimes when you warm up a sake, it brings like a very long vanilla-y brown sugar kind of flavor, if that makes any sense.
I think so. Although I don't know if you want to warm up a nama.
Well, you wouldn't warm it up, but like it has that same flavor profile, I think, to what I've experienced with warm sake.
This also sat a little bit. I think it's gotten a little warmer.
We did not know that it was a nama when we bought it, so it may not have stayed cold the whole time.
No, it did. I put it in the fridge as soon as we got back to the hotel. Because I was very excited to try it, and I was all right, let's put this right in.
Yeah, this one is already open.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, he's going to hit Sake Caliente when he's in Kyoto. That's awesome.
Perfect.
Do that. Yeah, definitely do that. Also, you want to hit the Jam Sake Bar Cross Hostel. Don't be alarmed by the fact that it's a hostel. It's still a very nice sake bar. They know their stuff. They're very, they have a good selection. They're nice people.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of on the water, which is very pretty. While you're over there, you can see that.
But yeah, those are like the two picks that I would say in Kyoto. Like, he actually he'll PM that information. So I'm
also,
like, whoops.
While you're in Kyoto, you can check out Sour, which is not a sake bar.
No,
it's a shochu place,
but it gets our approval.
But it's very cool.
It's a chuhai bar.
They do chuhai, which is like a sochu with like kind of like a spritz of like a soda.
Yeah, it's a shochu highball.
And then they blend your fruit of choice. Like you walk in and it kind of looks like a supermarket shelf in the background, and you've got like your watermelon, your strawberry, cantaloupe, just like any kind of fruit that you can think of, and you just pick one and they'll grate it or blend it or puree it right into your glass.
Yeah. And
I think it was pretty good prices. I think it was 6 to 8.
I think a couple of them were like 12 or 1300 yen.
For like the more expensive like blends.
But it's a tall glass, number one, and number two, they're delicious. Go really for it. It's fun.
And the atmosphere is really nice. It's a standing bar. It's kind of small, so you might want to go closer to when they open, but that's definitely a great place.
Yeah, Kyoto had some surprises. I liked Kyoto.
I was surprised. I expected
it wasn't Hiroshima, but I liked Kyoto. I loved Hiroshima, but I really did like Kyoto.
Where did we go in Osaka? Oh, there was that kind of under the awning drinking area that we went to with the sake sumo.
Yeah, we went to a different part of Osaka with Jason from Sake Sumo.
Do you remember what it was called?
The neighborhood I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was a bit north of Dotonbori where we were staying. The whole neighborhood was just a drinking, like, in Japan there's a concept of a yokocho, which is like a small alley with like food and drink. This seemed like a neighborhood of yokocho. It was very, very interesting. And the place that we went to, Sake Tori, was fantastic. Like they had such a great sake selection, and their yakitori was absolutely bonkers. Some of the best I've had.
I think it's interesting that we're doing these 3 namas together because these two are more. This isn't a genshu, is it?
No, it's not.
I think that these two are pretty similar in like boldness, like loudness of flavor, if that makes sense.
This would puts it on.
So we have a nama genshu, which of course is always going to be like a very bold flavor. Like those are my favorite flavors. And then we have this one, which is just in nama, and it's very strong, pretty sweetness to the flavor. And then we have this one, which is also a nama, but it's very mild, light flavor, probably specifically designed to be paired with like greasy sausages and French fries and chicken.
Probably meant to be had like outside the summer sun.
Yeah,
it's like light and refreshing.
And I think it's so interesting to try 3 namas that are all so different,
radically different.
Especially this one from these two.
Yeah, I mean, I there's a lot of times I'll have sake and I'll be like, oh, this reminds me of another sake I've had, or it's got a flavor that makes me think of this or that. Nothing. I've never had anything that tastes like this. This is my reference point for this flavor of sake now. It's very weird.
And it's so cool because they're using like 3 of the most popular rices right now, all in one. And I think that's very exciting.
Maybe next year's version will have the Miyama Nishiki, since that's up and coming.
That's like the one that's missing from the popular.
I'm seeing a lot more of that now. It's a great rice. It makes really good sake.
Did we talk about where all of these were from?
No. I mean, well, regionally, yes. But we didn't talk about like where we bought them all, I don't think. Like,
do you remember?
I know exactly where we bought all of these. But we talked about, we got this one at the Cebu. We bought this one at the Oktoberfest, hence the Oktoberfest sake. And then this guy we actually bought at a liquor store in Kabukicho. We walked in there randomly, and they had a friggin' fantastic sake selection, including this and a couple of other items. I think we got another bottle of this. You bought You bought some beer, the Yeasty Boys.
Oh, they have some great beers there. That's true. They're the Yeasty Boys.
What was that? What kind of beer was that? It was like an IPA or...
I don't remember.
She liked it, though.
I had it at the end of the day. I don't remember what it was.
It's a great name. Yeasty Boys.
Yeah.
I like it. But yeah, like, these are, you know, we had these namas and we don't want to like let them sit in the fridge for too long. So we wanted to do an episode where we kind of covered all three of them. We probably should have had more ice or something. That would have been good.
Yeah, it's pretty hot here in New York right now. All of our bottles are sweating, even though we're drinking.
As you say, it's really humid in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we actually have the air conditioning off, so it doesn't make too much noise for the show. But as soon as we're off camera, the air conditioning is going right back on. Do
you have any fun stories that you've since thought of that you want to share?
About the trip, about these sakes, like what are we doing? I remember when you brought this one to me because we had split up, and I was getting some sake from a different brewer. I actually had their sake today. I drank it this afternoon, and you were like, John, you have to try this. You have to try this. And I was like, I don't know about that. And like this looks like I looked at the label and it's got like this like anime girl with a knife and she's carrying somebody's head. And I'm like, I don't know about that. And I'm like, I tasted it and I was like, this is just weird. And she's like, yeah.
That's my favorite stuff. I love the weird stuff. And a namagenshu, like 3-blend rice style. Oh my gosh, how do you not want to try that? Like and it tastes...
I mean, I was happy to try it. I was like, that sounds exciting. Let me get a taste of it. And I was like, this is very you. This is like such a you sake. It was not for me necessarily. And I still, drinking it. It's good, but I wouldn't pursue this.
If you're drinking the sake, that's kind of what you're doing. You're not really eating. You're not really going out for sashimi. You're here to drink this sake. That's kind of what
you're trying to say. Like, this is it. Like, you have this. You're done for the night.
I'm not saying you're done for the night. I'm just saying you're not going to multitask with this sake. This one, you can kind of try to fake some multitasking and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to pair it with a whitefish. But it's still also a very loud flavor.
I don't know if I would pair with this. I think I would just want. I want this all to myself. I don't want to mess with it.
So we had some new friends join. If you're just now tuning in, we're showcasing our namazakes that we got from this trip. A namazake is unpasteurized, and the end of that is that you have to keep it cold. If you think about like your milk or your eggs, you have to keep it cold. So bringing back a nama from Japan is kind of a weird thing. It's a difficult thing to do, you would think. But we got 3 back this year, and we're kind of sharing our tips. The tips being that when you buy them, usually at a department store, they will tell you, this is a nama, you have to keep it cold, and they'll kind of wrap it in ice packs, like little jelly packs.
They'll usually put a little ice pack in there.
They'll do, that way when on your way home from shopping, it'll stay cold. When you get to your hotel, of course, put it in the refrigerator. And then pack this last. The last thing that you put in your suitcase should be your nama sake. We bring back all of our sake in these.
Wineskin branded.
This is the Wineskin brand, but I'm sure that you can get any. We got these on Amazon.
Yeah.
They're like little envelopes in the shape of wine bottles. And I dropped the lid to this when I opened it earlier. So I'll example it again with this one. Mm-hmm. But they just go right in there, and it has like a double lock feature.
Yeah, it's the 2 layers of kind of like glue.
So you pull off like a sticker here, and it sticks together here, and then you can fold it over here. So in the event that it does break, it's kind of all sealed in here, and you don't have to worry about your chargers or your hair dryer or whatever getting liquid all over it. But I've done 6 trips now. You said you've done about 8 where you brought back sake.
Yeah.
We've never had a bottle break. We do know people who have.
We have had some friends who had some problems, but I don't know how many. In disclosure, this person works for a brewery, and I don't know how many bottles they were bringing back. They might have been bringing a whole lot for their trip, and things happen, things break.
Yeah.
Always, and if you can get a hard suitcase.
A hard suitcase. Yes. So if you saw our haul this year, we brought, what was it, 17? Including the little 1 cups. We brought a lot. I think this was our most profitable, not profitable, but our most, what's the word? Our largest bounty of sake this year.
I think we were going with that.
And what we did specifically was we kept half of our suitcases empty. And then when I pack the sake, I always do a layer of clothes on the bottom. And then I'll wrap in I'll put it in here, or if it's already bubble wrapped from the store, I'll do like a shirt around it. And I always put the bases to the wheels and then kind of go this way. That way, when I stand the suitcase up, the strongest part is at the bottom. So when I'm wheeling it around, it'll stay safe. Because wine bottles, sake bottles are meant to be stacked and they're meant to be shipped. So if you kind of keep it with that in mind, I think you'll do a good job. The secret to bringing back so many is to have a lot of space, of course. So keeping half empty is good. And then the weight is what'll really get you. And you can check 2 suitcases from...
Right. And the 2 suitcases, they'll give you like, you can have 2 suitcases. Each of these suitcases has weight limit X.
I think it's like 50 pounds.
I don't know, whatever it was, we crushed it.
We went a little over.
Crushed it this year.
But they were nice to us.
Yes,
so
they were very
out.
polite. Thank you very much to the nice people at Chow for letting us bring back our sake.
So you can carry on a bag and check 2 bags. So if you bring an empty one, then you can spread your weight out on the way back, which is very helpful. Sometimes the airlines will let you pay a fee if you go over. It's like $50. So you have to decide if that's worth it. We got really lucky this year. She was like, don't do that again. And we were like, definitely. So sorry.
Yes. We
learned our lesson. So sorry.
Yes. It worked out. We got everything home. And now we get to share it with you people.
It's so sad because I always hate drinking them when we get home because I know that they're going to be gone and it's going to be so long before we get to go again. So it's always so sad when we open them up.
It won't be that long this time.
That's true.
It'll be a little bit less time than usual. Usually it's a full year or maybe 13 months. This year we're going to be going back in February most likely, and that's going to be fantastic. Because that's going to be a winter
Hokkaido.
adventure. Yeah. In Hokkaido. And then I've been told that if you go in February, you get the fresh sake. That's when they brew.
I think every time we go, we get fresh sake.
It's true.
Yeah.
We always get delicious sake. I know that Sapporo is going to be just like ice cold, bundle layers. I'm wondering what Tokyo is going to be like. Because
in February?
Yeah, because you got to figure like it doesn't really snow, but it gets cold. But at the same time, it's humid there. So what's going to happen, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. That's for sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we have anything else we need to talk about or want to talk about?
Do we have any other questions?
Do we have any questions, comments, statements?
Let's see. I liked the question we had earlier about difference in taste depending on the climate.
I think they're talking about like if you're in a hot room, and yes, the short answer. And like in the case of this one, like this is sake is kind of like designed for that. So, because it's a summer blend, it's not blend. That's not the right word, but the summer sake. It's been brewed with the idea that it's hot out and you're drinking this to like refresh yourself, and like the flavor profile is gonna lean more towards something that's crisp and clean tasting. And I think that most of the summer ones we've had have been like that. Whereas the spring guys have a little bit more of a pop to them. The spring's a little bit more funky. The autumn stuff is always very smooth. There's winter stuff, but
if you're planning a trip, go in October. It's amazing. Everything is still bubbling. Like you think it's effervescent or sparkling, but it's not. It's just that fresh, and it's amazing.
The thing is that like the stuff in October has been sitting for 6 months. But it's somehow it's been sitting in not in bottles, but it's sitting in vats, and they take it out of the vats because it's been fermenting over that time, and then they'll put it in the bottles and they ship it out, and that's the Hiya Oroshi, and that is our favorite, or my favorite at least.
I think we had a question a couple of days ago via email about. I think he had a friend who was going to Japan, and he usually gets requests some bottles to come back. So what do we recommend to ask for this year? I think it just depends on your taste. But for our personal likes, what is the winner sake for you this year?
Oh God, what's the best sake I had this year? I couldn't. It's like that's like choosing a child. I can't do that. But honestly, like the not the first one that we had in Hiroshima, but the Jiyondai we had in Osaka was very good. I had a lot of stuff from Kudoki Jozu that I thought was really great. I love that brewery. That's a great brewery.
You also had Glorious Mount Fuji. You were really into.
But their really good stuff is Nama, and it's really hard to bring home. Like, I probably tasted like 6 or 7 bottles from them that I would just like, I wanted to just hug the bottle, and I just couldn't.
Is it Edo Fuji-san? Is it Eto Fuji?
No, it's something else.
Well,
Glorious Mount Fuji if you speak Japanese.
Anyway, they at the Cebu event where we saw this one, they had 2 stands. They had their regular Mount Fuji stand with our friend Gojo-san, and then they had a Glorious Mount Fuji cross anime.
Oh, it was a manga. It was a manga. I can't remember what the name of the manga was.
That was very special because it was like the artists for the manga were there. It translated to unique or like only like
one of a kind.
One of a kind. That was the translation. And so they had the artists there for the manga, and Glorious Mount Fuji, the sake label, was like doing specific bottles based on the manga, or that they had.
I think apparently he had some input in the flavoring.
Yeah,
it was tasty.
Next to that, the artists made like sculptures, like pottery. They made their own little glasses and their own carafes that they were selling, and all of the cups were one of a kind. Like they made one of each tasting cup that you could buy, and they were all so beautiful. And because there were 3 or 4 different artists that collaborated, you could definitely see a difference in the artistic style, which was so exciting. And I really wanted to bring back so many of them, but
they were very expensive.
They were very expensive. Which you would expect from something that is like so special and like, you know, one of a kind and just handmade. But also they were very fragile. I think they were like $180 to $100 for just like
that's a lot of money.
You know, like a 1 cup, but they were very beautiful.
Tyler asked if he was going to be there in August. What should he expect sake wise? And I'm going to say summer. You're going to expect these summer sakes that are in these light blue bottles are going to be a little crisper, a little lighter, by and large. But you can't go wrong.
August is very hot, very.
That's
humid.
Another thing. It's going to be very humid. Wear shorts. Get flip flops.
A lot of linen. Check out Uniqlo. It sells a lot of. They sell Airism. It'll keep the sweat off you. That's what I recommend for August.
Uniqlo.
Is Uniqlo.
Also, like when you're like, don't buy your Uniqlo here if you're in like a city or a state that has the Uniqlo and you're going to go to Japan. Like, get it when you get there. You get your
tax free if you buy it over 5,000 yen, which is like $50. And they also have sales. They even have like random sales.
They had an anniversary sale while we were
like
there.
Flash sales. I feel like every time we go, it's like,
oh, you're talking about like last year?
Yeah.
When we walked in and they were like, there was a guy just kind of standing at the front, just like chilling, and everybody's like gathered around him, and we're like, what's going on?
Yeah, and he just had the megaphone. He's like, oh, for the next 50 minutes, tank tops are $5, and everyone just goes crazy. I don't know. It's in Japan. There's also a shoe store that we walk by all the time.
Oh, the one in Shinjuku.
Yeah. Whenever it rains, their shoes are 30% off. I don't know. I just love it.
You go there in June when it rains every day.
Season, and you get shoes super cheap. But so in August, what to look for? You're gonna get a lot of summer.
Yeah.
Which is usually gonna be the blue or the white bottle, or clear bottle, and it's got like a very light taste to it. I guess in summer you're eating.
It's hot out.
Yeah, and you want like very refreshing.
Yeah.
You are grilling a lot probably. You're probably doing like burgers. You're doing a lot of chicken. That's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I've never been there in August. The latest in the year and into the summer I've ever been there was June 4th, like a week and a half ago. That was pretty much the latest I'd ever been there.
I love this one so much.
It's
so,
no,
like,
you do.
Fruity and
you were
juicy.
so excited about that one. Yeah, it's going to be hot, but August should be. If you're alright with the heat, it should be fine. And it's not every sake is going to be summer. No. You're still going to have a wide range of flavors and profiles to choose from. But the specials that the breweries are going to be putting out are going to be these.
The best phrase for you to remember is osusume. Osusume.
That is the best.
That means basically recommendation. And you can learn Japanese and make it into a sentence, but if you just say osusume, they'll know what you're talking about. And they will recommend to you.
Yeah. You want to be very polite, just osusume onegaishimasu. They'll appreciate it.
Yeah, but if you can just remember that, they can recommend to you whatever is, what they have that's the best or what they like.
And they may ask follow-up questions like if you like things that are sweet or if they're things that are dry.
Usually they do. Usually if you say osusume and they know that you want a recommendation, they'll ask you your flavor profile. So then you can follow that up with, I like things that are sweet, I like things that are dry.
And you know,
That's up to you.
I would love to be in Japan. Like, I would love to have a year in Japan where I get to experience every season, because they're very big on making sure there's a difference per season. Like, and that's a big deal to them. Is like
the changing of the seasons.
Yeah, changing the seasons is an important thing in their culture, and it's celebrated in the foods and festivals and sake. And
we went to a, what was it? Coriander festival?
I don't know what that was all about.
We stumbled upon a coriander festival, and it was like flags with pictures. So if you're not familiar, coriander is an herb like parsley.
But what's the other word for it? There's another term for coriander. You told me at the time.
I did?
Yeah. Because I didn't know what it was.
Google it real quick.
Okay.
I think
I'm going to leave that up. I just want to.
I think it's like parsley. Like basically, it's just one of those herbs.
It's like minty though. A little bit minty and bitter.
Like thyme or rosemary.
Yeah, a little bit like thyme.
But basically, this was a whole festival, like multiple tints of food and drinks dedicated to coriander, because coriander is now in season, and Japan just loves to celebrate regional foods, regional crops, and seasons, and it's just so fun. And this one was like, they had like mojitos made with coriander.
The mojitos were not amazing.
They were really good.
They were not very good.
But they had like fish and chips with coriander on it, and coriander gyozas, and
they had a coriander. They had the gyoza. Those were pretty good. There was also like coriander empanadas.
We've never been in August, so if you go in August, please let us know.
Coriander is also known as cilantro. So cilantro.
Cilantro festival.
Yeah.
If you're an American and you've been to Chipotle, those little green things that are in the rice, that's cilantro.
Also coriander, apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, you will stumble upon weird stuff when you're in Japan, and our advice is to go with it. Yeah. Like, check it out. It's usually fun. It's always fun.
Yeah.
And if it's not fun, you could leave and go on to something else. Find something else that's fun. Oh, you moved back to the.
Well, because I ran out, and I felt bad. I like this one the best.
This is, as far as I'm concerned, this one is the My Shell bottle. Like, this is all you. Like, I'm kind of okay with this, but I don't appreciate it in the way that you do. Like, it's just I can't even describe it. It doesn't taste or smell like anything.
Have you ever bought a cupcake and the icing is just like a lot?
A lot?
And you like don't really eat all the icing because it's like a lot, so you just eat the cupcake. This is the icing.
This is just the icing.
This is a very concentrated sweetness, but it's so powerful and interesting. I don't know. It's very cool. But I always have so fun when we do.
This is bold.
I always have so much fun when we do these live shows, like answering your questions and reminiscing about our trip. So if you have questions, or you have your own story that you want to tell us, or a cool place that you found that you want to check out, please let us know. We have like a million ways you can reach us. We have email.
We do. info@thesakenotes.com.
We have Instagram. The Sake Notes.
The Sake Notes and Instagram.
We have YouTube. We
don't have.
Well, you can't really email.
It's hard to find us on YouTube. To be honest,
if you're going to send us a message through YouTube, that's kind of weird. You should just like email us.
But you should totally try to find us on YouTube and then subscribe. Because if you subscribe, if enough of you subscribe, we will be able to get the Sake Notes. We'll get the youtube.com/the Sake Notes.
Yeah. So I know you've seen like a million YouTubers who are like, oh, don't forget to subscribe and click like and all that stuff. But you can't have like the youtube.com/the Sake Notes until you get 100 subscribers. 100. So we only need 100 of you to subscribe, and then we can like have a link to click on. That's all that we need.
Yeah. I always thought people were just being really obnoxious, like, oh, subscribe. I'm like, yeah, whatever, bro.
But for example,
and now I'm like, oh shit, you really need them to subscribe.
But so like when we post updates or like blog updates on Instagram, or that we're gonna go live, we can't link you to it because we don't have enough followers yet. So.
Right. It's weird. But Facebook is great, and we'll let us just do facebook.com/the Sake Notes, which we do. Yeah. And this is our live home at the moment.
Until we get more likes or more followers on YouTube.
And then we'll try to like cross promote, I think, between this and YouTube. Maybe we'll do two at the same time. Maybe we get Twitch too. I don't know. Maybe we'll play video games while we drink sake. I don't know. And that'll be our Twitch excuse. Like Bloodborne, and then a sake that goes with Bloodborne.
If you like sake pairings, you can also check out our video where we did cheap snacks.
Oh, jeez.
With
This is on both the YouTube and the
I
Facebook.
keep telling John that we should do more cheap snacks and sake tastings, and he's a little scared.
You didn't watch the video yet. Trust me. It's worth being terrified.
That's true, because I never think about, do I actually want to eat this? I only just think, does this look weird? And then I buy it.
She bought it.
Bought a lot of weird stuff.
One of the snacks was a bloomin' onion. It was a bloomin' onion.
Tyler, BFF of the site, says that he would definitely watch our Twitch streams. So
Yes,
it's
it's
on
me
now.
pairing sake. I'll play Neo while drinking sake out of a masu.
It's very cute.
Well, you know, traditional Japan with traditional Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Neo's a great game. You should play that. Everybody should play that. It's a great game.
Well,
I think we're done.
I think we're done with the show.
I think we've reached the end of our Nama excitement for the night.
So if you have questions or comments, or you liked this episode and you want to see more, let us know.
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
Share.
We love...
There are these two weird people that drink sake all night on YouTube. It's
We
fucking
love
amazing.
sharing the things that we found, and we love hearing from other people who have had similar experience and telling us where to go. So if you know, please let us know.
Yeah. This is all just a racket to learn about new sake bars to go to.
So now we've done 2 episodes from our haul, so about 6 sakes, and we still have 11 to go.
There's a lot more. I mean, I don't think the Naruto is going to make it. We've been drinking that a lot.
We're doing that one.
Yeah. The Narutotai Ginjo Nama Genshu, if you've been watching the show at all, is Michelle's favorite sake in the world that isn't this.
Michelle's favorite sake in the world in New York.
In New York. Her favorite sake in New York. And so when we were in Japan, we saw their regular just Narutotai Junmai. And I was like, well...
Salaryman's Junmai.
Yeah, I might as well get this. This is like their normal stuff. I'll see
Like,
what
hey, I live in Japan. I
this
want
is
to
the baseline. And it was... We got it. We tasted it. It's good. It's
Okay,
really
I have to be
kinda
super
good.
honest with you.
You don't like it.
No, I like it, but John did not want to bring it back.
I did not want to bring it back. Every time we had to make a decision about...
A weight decision.
Maybe we can't bring back one bottle. Get rid of the Narutotai.
And I was like, no, I will throw away my coat and we will make room for the Narutotai.
It's true.
Who needs shoes? I'll just buy more shoes. I can't buy more Narutotai when we get to New York.
Yeah,
So we brought it back.
we did.
Fighting tooth and nail the whole way, but it's here.
She was
Blood and
right.
sweat.
She was totally right. It was great. It was. I mean, great's not the right word, but it is of like they should sell that in New York. It would sell here. I think it would.
Yeah.
It's really good Junmai. There's not enough Junmai. There's not enough really good Junmai in New York.
Yeah. Okay, we keep prolonging this.
Yes, we do.
But this has been the show. Make
It
sure
has.
you like all of the different things that we have so that we can bring you more content, easier to click on content. Tell your friends. If you have more questions, let us know. We love reminiscing about our trips.
Yeah, and we
We'll
love hearing about
probably
your trips.
do the next live show next week, probably Friday or Saturday, with our next haul.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of ideas.
Do you want to talk about your Tuesday thing for our New York friends?
Okay. So on the 27th,
Is it 28th?
27th of June,
Which
we're going to be doing a little Sake Notes cross Rabbit House tasting event at the Rabbit House it's kind of like near Chinatown, so we'll just say it's in Chinatown, and it's a very small bar. It reminds me a lot of the little 5-person bars that you see in Japan. It's not 5-person. It's more like 9 stools and then like a couple of tables. But I'm going to be selecting a group of 3 bottles of sake from Yamagata. So we're going to be celebrating Yamagata, which just coincidentally happens to be my favorite region for sake. And details on pricing and how it's all going to work are to come. But yeah, keep an eye on the site, and there'll be some details in the near future.
So, meet and greet /
Meet and greet / come and get drunk with us. And Rabbit House is a really cool place, so you should check it out.
Yeah. But really now that's got to be the end.
That's it. All right, we're done.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, hold on. We got the sake notes. This thing is covered in pollen, by the way. It's absolutely coated in pollen.
You didn't have to tell them. They can't see from there.
I can see.
Bye. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Also, I super love this one.
I know you do.
I'm really sad that now that it's a nama, we have to drink it fast before it goes bad, right?
Well, you're right.
How long do you think a nama lasts? Like a week?